slides that would just keep
And
it
I can
for the 2 movie nights.
look at this.
I want to say, I really,
I really went with that.
Well,
My interaction didn't go well. But
that's not what we're
I
doing,
like
but I am seriously doing that. I was on the phone.
And that's all.
Weeks to see if one of those Friday
and
nights.
that didn't go well. That really didn't go
I
well.
hate talking about it on now, because I say
So now we have
But
They will take
That's
a
just
look
because
at
it's
it.
a close to Friday this year.
And I
really think we would.
They just didn't feel that it was big, you know, it's like he's saying, when someone dies, they really,
Because they have the team that we.
thing that he was making, and you know, now we put our people in there, he needs to have a
But you know,
display,
they lay me like
like that.
basketball.
They were just.
So not so formal, more
Everything
just
he
like,
wanted to do.
just put it out there with no
And
real.
then we had,
I think it's too soon.
somebody had donated this quilt, so I don't
Personality,
think
because
so they, I just put the quilt,
I think we can
And,
start building with more consistency.
and
That's why I wanted
we
to.
thought it should be displayed. And, yeah,
Yes, because if it comes out to like a bunch of random and things like that, then just
Oh,
say,
But I'm saying,
I
like,
didn't follow that.
sustainable. And if we start with something consistent,
Then,
you know,
yeah.
and then
So
you
yeah.
have to do it. I know.
Well, they didn't do that.
I
This
was
is
going
what
to
that's like, because
sit
we'll have a new decorating committee
in
on there then.
supervisor yet, because.
Then yesterday, now we have people want to find this committee, this way. They're coming out that side. And inquire about that. Yeah.
Anyway, it's okay, that's my bad.
So that's why I asked if we could have them listed. I did ask for that.
I will, we can discuss.
We'll see if that.
New member? What? New member back here? Oh, she's been here before.
Friday night, on the 27th of July, that's my daughter's, whatever. But if you put this,
Thanks, Al.
I'm trying to, I thought would be.
They both see from back there. It's
Yeah. See, usually run to the.
Let's go, Joe.
good.
People can do the chairs, so you could do it a little later. You know, the people that, here's, yeah, anyone, it's not time for it, but that could be something that sort of kills it.
It's always, it's just.
Just that we have a meeting.
So I think that
It's okay. It'll all be in passes. So you have to work the things that are great.
Oh, yeah, for the,
Said about like,
Private
there's just
I
ways
know
to
him
get
for
her
insurance.
Nice.
And I'm prepared.
yeah.
Still.
What's this?
I have.
This will be an update tonight. You don't like saying you. We're getting ready. You too. I saw that little something. Don't worry. I won't forget you.
We'll increase your pay by 10 times. So 10 times 0. Yeah,
Summer will be like, you guys are getting paid, no, not me.
We have
we are
not.
gonna have a huge parking problem.
Or,
I, like,
With the, like, something we could discuss.
well, that's how long.
Really started.
yeah, no, it's fine. No, change the sheet.
So we use
Oh,
that.
I
Yes,
didn't realize.
it'll be in this
We
unit.
use that information.
you do?
I mean, there's one ways around
I was
that.
gonna take pictures, but,
So,
I keep going, guys, with like baseball games, and it's like all the way across the star.
That place gets,
I'm not
I think it's a lot of action. And
I will use things
the
to work it.
construction is probably gonna take out some of
There's
the.
ways to get around it.
Eventually it's gonna add parking, but
Well, summer, one spring maybe over, so it won't be so bad, maybe once they had talked
So
about.
I've got mine,
it's,
And that's good.
Get my information together.
Spring falls over.
it,
if you send it for very nice.
it's not gonna interrupt baseball, as
Plan
much as
C.
it's gonna interrupt any kind of Friday night program.
The church will cooperate, they already said they would.
It just never works.
Well,
There'll be no discussion.
Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order. Order.
Any present except Steve?
We're waiting for our youngest member to get up
Do
here.
you know,
She might have a lot to say.
Miranda? I think, Miranda, I don't want to speak too early, but I think I satisfied Catherine so well. That's awesome. Success.
I like the youngest
Or Kelly. Good to see you. Hello, Olivia. And our newest board member, Olivia.
All right.
And she has the chair also, I might add.
Easy.
Good choice.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
I make a motion to approve the approval of the last minute, or the last month meeting.
All those in favor?
I don't have a copy.
Anybody second? Real quick.
Opposed?
I'll second.
Oh, perfect.
You know?
I said I'll second.
Okay, good. That motion is passed. We now have an open forum on, we now have a open forum on action items. And does anyone have anything to say about Parks and Rec? All right, that's good. So the first discussion will be letter D, trail discussion, Icedale updates.
So I did send an email out to Sunoco, to their, I think his title, he's in charge of their easements, based in Dallas. I have not received a reply back yet, and I just got some contact info from Kevin for West Brandywine, so I'll follow up with West Brandywine and try to work both ends of that and get a contact locally at Sunoco, so we can get that moving. But the agreement between Sunoco and West Brandywine is online on the West Brandywine Township website. It's a 17-page legal document that's been signed by both parties a year and a half ago.
In that legal document, was there any, like, expense or funds exchanged for the easement?
I honestly didn't read over
Okay.
it. But
It would just be nice, and I'm thinking they probably need to give some stuff up to open space based on their,
Yeah, yeah. They're a willing participant.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
They're,
I think it helps them in the bottom line.
yeah. But it does, the document contains the legal description of the agreement, engineers, surveyors, description of the property. The notarized signatures. So it is available out there on the website.
All right.
I wonder if the Brandywine is the one that did the top type legal description stuff there.
I think it
Do
was.
you think it was them that initiated it?
Or no, you mean the township? Yeah, I think that it probably will be on us, on the township, to draw up the legal papers and get it surveyed. So there will be some cost involved there. I don't know what that cost will be. But the agreement itself, I don't think there's any money in the monetary requirements.
So is there anything for us to take to the board at the next board meeting
Not as
regarding Icedale Trail?
No, I think we first need to get a verbal commitment from Sunoco that they will do with us what they did with West Brandywine. And then we'll have something to go to the board with.
Yes.
As a side note, I was talking, Dale Barnett and I, he's the manager at West B'wine, we're back and forth playing phone tag. I'm pretty sure he sent me his cell number and he asked me to call him. Unfortunately, I can't find it at this moment, but I will try, and when I do, I will forward it to you if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyone else on the Icedale Trail? Park discussion updates, disc golf course.
So I did put together, an estimate, sent it to the wrong email. Fixed that yesterday. So, the board should have it soon, right?
It was sent to them, just waiting for some feedback.
Okay, yeah, no
It was
problem.
sent.
Yeah, apparently it's .com, not .org, or .org, not .com.
If it's
Did you give us
in
the
the
bare
office,
bones type estimate?
I just put together what I already had. I don't know, what bare bones would look like as far as what they would want for bare bones. And it also, does it, I need to know what they want for bare bones. As far as what are we doing, as far as, who's gonna do it, what materials. For the most part, the only thing that we probably take out, is the cost of somebody helping us.
Maybe.
So that's all spelled out, block by block, but you can just cross it out and take it out of the total. So it's itemized.
Is it something that,
They can do the math if they needed to take out, like, I think it was like $2,000 or something to have somebody design the boards and do stuff like that. It's like $1,000 for information board, it's like $100 a whole for a whole maps thing. You can cross all those out and you can make it bare bones if you wanted to.
Randy, do you think that the office will be able, would be able to look at this quote and, decide? Because ultimately, that's where the decisions get made financially. I mean, the board, the office and then the board decide, well, yeah, we'll pay for this, and this, but scratch, those three, we don't think they're necessary. Do you think that they can work with that?
so that would be something that would probably be better handled at a Board of Supervisors workshop meeting. Because in that meeting, then there's a little more back and forth available.
Yeah,
And they can tell you kind of what they'd be willing to look at. On the agenda later on is an item for the 2025 budget. So, I don't want to describe this. By bare bones pretty much means for this scenario, you guys are willing to pour concrete in the buckets, stick the post in, and install, and order stuff from a disc golf website and put it together, is like what bare bones means.
So no township help at all?
I mean, rephrase, our public works crew would absolutely, but it would be kept like an in-township thing. It would be you guys volunteering and the public works crew helping, doing that with you guys.
So that's essentially, all you would do for that would be subtract the outside consultant from the total cost.
Yes,
And then you have your bare bones.
yep, very much.
So I think it was like $14,000 some odd dollars. Bare bones would be $12,000 some odd dollars.
can I make a motion that we would put this into the 2025 budget and do it with the presentation it was offered? We know he designed it, we've got,
I know,
it kind of knows, I mean, it's not like we're saving thousands here.
Oh, just two, but yeah.
Well, it's not thousands.
It's not tens of thousands of dollars yet.
Right, but it's.
And I think either way, you're probably looking at next year, because, I mean, I know we have the budget later, but I have no idea what our budget is, what we're spending that budget on this year. So,
Well,
I
it
think we
sounds
need,
almost like we don't have a quote budget, everything we request will have to be approved by the
So,
supervisor.
You guys have a fund currently, it's not a very big fund, because no formal budget was submitted last year. So there's probably, very rough guess, so I'm gonna make it wide. There's probably $3,000 to $5,000 in that budget right now. And that budget is for things like fence rips, not fence rips, net rips, like one of the tennis nets or the pickleball nets, and you need to buy a new one for something.
Okay.
You guys need
We use
frisbees,
that for the
you need
movie
some
too.
like basketballs, that's like what that fund is really for. The budget discussions that we're gonna do are gonna be broken down into a couple different sections, and I'll explain that when we get to that. I know.
Yeah, but we can skip that until.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't make a motion just yet until we get to the
Yeah,
park update budget items, and then I can kind of explain what goes where with that.
but if we can get, if you think that it would be better to go to a board of supervisors workshop meeting, I can go to the next one if the disc golf course is on the agenda.
I would have to ask Warren, just because I don't know if it's on the agenda.
Or can we put it on the agenda? Well, I can do June 5th, but Kelly and I will not be here next month.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, let me reach out to Warren and just check and
I
see
said
before I
we can
use
do
your.
June 5th, but we will not be at this meeting next month.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you. I was looking at the, I was
I
like,
mean,
no, we're gonna be here for the.
We can zoom in from Italy.
I was thinking, we're gonna be here.
I wouldn't want to do that.
That's
That's 6
6
hours, is it 6
Yeah,
hour
it'll
time?
be 1 o'clock in the morning, but we'll be here.
Sorry, I was out looking at the regulation.
And so I already even talked to my family when I had a niece and nephew over there with the Army, so I went for 10 days. I was even talking to my family, it's like, I either had to call them, it was 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
we can do that, if we can get that on their agenda for the 5th, I'll go and explain and see what they want to do.
Yeah, all right, Warren.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe. I should stay on top of that. Skate park.
All right, no time to shine.
She said,
My time to shine.
It wasn't involved in the packet for some reason, so I'm gonna share it on the screen. If I can get it to present. These are the numbers that matter, and I'll read them out loud too. The little numbers. So, the bid has been awarded. They went to Armed Concrete. They were the lowest bidder. Their total cost was $304,961. And the other bidder was $691,299.
wow.
So, it went to Arment, they were the lowest bidder. We are waiting on one more permit from Fish and Wildlife, and then construction will begin to get underway. When we had our pre-bid meeting, Arment showed up, and they informed us that they believe that they can get it done sooner than the October deadline. So, that is good news there. That's pretty much all of the updates. Once we get that permitted, construction will be clear and ready to go. It will take away about half of the parking lot with all of their construction gear and stuff like that, just as kind of a preface. And then I would assume, I'm not 100% sure, that a certain area of the walking trail will be closed off right where they're constructing, so it goes right past that area.
That's a huge difference.
It is.
Are the proposed, or the quotes, like apples to apples, like everything is the same?
By everything.
So like, it's the same yards of concrete, it's the same,
Yep,
amount,
it's-
everything's the same?
It's all the same stuff.
Is that like if you're looking at the first, say the first line?
Yes, right here.
Yeah, like it, so that, I'm gonna say the Armet concrete column, that's their price versus the other place?
Yes, so if you look at the first line for mobilization, demobilization, not 100% sure what that means. Our bid actually was more expensive in that category than our other bid.
Yeah, I was just on that first.
Yeah,
Yeah, the mobilization, demobilization is bringing your equipment in and taking it
gotcha.
out.
Oh yeah, I believe they're based out of Maryland,
Okay,
so that's why they're a little more pricier on that one.
Yeah, just,
All of it's
with-
actually in the concrete skate park.
you know,
There's one line item that makes up the $3,000 difference, basically,
300,000?
or $300,000.
Okay.
Which one is it?
It's down 16, it's custom concrete skate park is where it is. most of it.
It's right here. So Armet has actually done quite a few skate parks.
That's what I was gonna
So,
say.
yep, they've done quite a few skate parks. They did a really big one down in Virginia, and I can't remember the name of it. But it turned out beautiful. It's a gorgeous skate park. Don't let the significant price difference scare you. They are a very high quality
Okay.
company. They give you very high quality products.
They're the ones who were actually here, right?
Yeah, they were the other ones that showed up to the pre-bid meeting, yep.
Did this actually drop from the quote 3 years ago?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Didn't this price actually drop from the quote 3 years ago?
That plan had other things, because it.
No,
Yeah.
I mean specifically the skate
I'm
park
not
was,
sure about
was,
specifically the
was,
skate
was
park.
set up for $400K, I believe. And because this number drops, that means that our grant money drops, right? Because it's a 50% grant, and which means everybody's money drops. So you know, we're paying less money, and we need to take less money from the grant. So I don't know how that works, but it sounds like a good deal. And I want to thank the previous board members and the previous board for sticking with this thing through thick and thin. I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to be a jewel down there at the park, and I can't wait for it to get built so we can
I mean, it's a
move
good
on to
idea.
something else.
One question I have, just looking at the award, I see that there's lawn seating in there. Is landscaping accounted for anywhere on the plan?
As for the skate park plan?
Yeah, because it seems kind of strange that we would have like a big concrete pad with no
Yeah, so
landscaping around it.
with the stormwater management plan, and just everything that has to be met in our township, they do have to keep the landscape around it up to a certain level after they're done. So they have to go in and make it pretty, again, essentially, is the best way.
But there won't be any sort of shade or anything?
I don't believe over the skate park there will be. I really wish I could find the plan for this. I'm just gonna stop sharing and see if I can pull it up. But I can't confirm 100%.
Because I was just thinking if it's a matching grant and we're leaving money on the table, it would be worth including some landscaping for around it, I would think.
Let's see, and that might be something that's involved in the Humboldt Park Phase 1 or 2 plan as a whole. I'm not sure about the concrete itself,
Could-
because there is still that plan that's slowly being implemented. We're just breaking it down into smaller sections, because it wasn't getting done in one big sweep.
Okay.
I'll look around and see.
Is that something, a requirement that might come out of the planning approvals?
It might. Mhm.
So the cost-
Yeah, I can't say for sure, because I don't know what is holding Fish and Wildlife up particularly. Yeah, it's a low area, it's a green field actually technically, but when we were looking at the plans,
We're not running water anywhere else.
they have a whole, it's way above my pay grade to understand. But they have,
Didn't that spreadsheet have landscape on it?
Yeah. Oh, it said seating.
Seated.
Yeah, it's usually a rough grade up around.
Yeah.
They'll grade it and seed it and be done.
And then you
Which
think,
I don't know that you want a lot more. Are you talking trees? Or are you talking like
Trees, ground
canopy?
cover, just kind of anything to go around it, because it seems like a big part of Honeybrook Township is farmland and wildlife, and it might look kind of out of place, just putting something there without any sort of
Right.
landscaping around it. And also like further landscaping and erosion go
Right.
hand in hand, so.
yeah, so the area that skate park being built currently has no trees, so I don't know if that plays into the requirement for after skate park is built for planting. But I can say, the plans are very detailed when it comes to the wetland area and that inlet that draining happens into. So we will not have to worry about water, I mean, maybe during construction, because that's a different story, with the ground being all dug up. But after construction, we will not have to worry about ponding on the road, the field next to the skate park being soaking wet, except the wetlands area, because we can't control that. And all of that is being handled. I wish I could give you more answers on the landscaping thing, but I'm not 100% confident.
Do you think that we can make that part of our request at the next board meeting?
I don't know about at the next board meeting.
Just it's our suggestion.
Yeah, okay, you can absolutely make a suggestion, absolutely.
That's what we do.
Yeah, bring that up and see. I can pretty much guarantee that that won't be able to be moved in with the current construction.
No,
That
no.
is set and ready to go, and our next already, we've solidified their bid. But that's definitely something we can bring up and see if after construction, we can get that moving. You can absolutely bring that up.
Or if you're thinking about it.
Especially if it's being matched under the grant,
Yeah.
because with it coming in at lower than what the grant's for, that's what I figured. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that might be something that you might want to bring up then. Is there any way we can maybe do a little something in the planning stage to grab a little bit more of that grant money? I mean, what's the worst they can say is no.
Yeah, I can see, once again, I'm not 100% confident in how the grant section works. And I don't know,
Sure.
because the bid has already been approved, if we
Can
hit
add
our
a second
timeline of,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm not 100% sure, that's my rough,
We won't have a
yes,
problem.
yeah.
If that amount is less than what the grant was. Like, we know the grant amount.
Off the top of my head now, I don't know.
It's two something, wasn't it?
Thought it was 250, thought.
Yeah,
255. Oh, there, they were.
it's
I
two
believe
something.
so.
Was that down?
It's max.
I thought it was more than that, and it went down.
Just the skate park.
I didn't think we got 155.
Where would that number be?
I'm not sure. All of the grant stuff and
Yeah.
the actual drawing of the plans was before I was here, and so I'm not confident in any of those.
All right, well,
Well, could we lump it in for next year's budget along with the pollinator garden and stuff?
You could absolutely include it in the budget. No saying for sure it'll get
Approved.
approved, but you can absolutely put that in the budget and see if.
Because we were talking about, someone was talking about the pollinator garden and stuff, so we could move in a couple trees or shrubs or whatever you want to put around.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
thinking to use the grant money.
If-
that was
if it's
all.
there.
Yeah. But I definitely think if I can make it through next quarter, super better, I'll bring it up.
okay, the board of supervisors. So, item number 3 is the pollinator garden.
So, I have my presentation finally. I was excited to present it last month's meeting and then I couldn't make it last minute, but I do have it today. So, I put together a couple goals and then just some ideas for preliminary, kind of what I was thinking, but feel free to jump in. So I think a big part of the Pollinator Garden's goal and idea is to be informative for the people that are around here that are looking at it. So teaching them what pollinators are, why they're important to our ecosystem, how certain plants are produced, and how things grow through pollination. So making it very informative for people that are there visiting, between signs that are about pollination specifically, and then also maybe some signs with information about the plants. Also that it's just something nice to look at. Don't want it to be overgrown or anything like that, so I try to be really intentional with the plant choices or just ideas that are low maintenance. And of course beneficial to bees, butterflies, birds, etc. So, for people that aren't plant nerds, I'll make it quick. But, I put coneflower in there, echinacea, you've probably seen this around. It's a native wildflower, not aggressive, but it will self-seed and spread. And it's relatively low maintenance, just cutting down at the end of the season, and it'll provide some interest from July to August. Allium, that's an ornamental onion, this variety specifically, Millennium. is very nice and pretty to look at. I have a few at my house. And what's nice about them is that they're deer resistant, given there's no sort of fencing going around the entire park, and low maintenance as well. Once they're done flowering, they have some nice foliage and just look like a grass of some sort. Black-eyed Susan, another native and low maintenance with a longer period of interest from June to September. Nepeta or catnip, I picked this one because it's really nice to look at for all the summer, but it's known for being tough as nails, and I know we're going to have some challenges if we choose to do it in that back area with how wet it is. It's resistant towards deer and rabbits, easily propagated, and you just cut it back in the fall, but you could also shear it in the spring after it first flowers to encourage a second flush, which you might want to consider, maybe not. And the last one that I have so far are hosta, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, and that will provide an interesting perennial drought pollinator garden, and it produces flowers, grows well in partial sun, and is also low maintenance. So, and the last one, I thought I put this one first, which is a little bit more boring, but I put wild strawberry as a ground cover because that's really helpful for erosion in case we need to fight against that for any reason based on where we put it. And it spreads, but it's not too aggressive. It's not going to take over everything. So those were kind of my initial thoughts and ideas. I wanted to see what you guys thought about it, and if you had any suggestions. I think the next step, if you guys think that's a good idea and we should proceed, I should get a rough estimate of how much it's going to cost and present that to the board of supervisors at some point, so that we could potentially work it into the budget for 2025.
We had once obtained, that was a full grant from Brandywine Conservancy that planted the front end. Of course, the maintenance got way, it was a much bigger project than what anyone could maintain. Supervisor or township workers just started mowing it down, which I don't blame them. But my question would be back there, is there enough sun for some of these? I know the hostas could care less. And then also the water. Is there plants that are more, I've heard of rain gardens more so that can help soak up
Yeah.
and
So I should-
thrive in the water.
I should have prefaced it at the beginning. I'm thinking that we do something small. You can always make it bigger, but
Yes.
the last thing I'd want to do is create some massive garden. That's a big undertaking.
You always build
to
it,
take care of. So I'm thinking like maybe 150 square feet, maybe, including like a bench and maybe a nice ornamental tree in the middle or something like that. And I think that the water is definitely something we can take into consideration. And when I was doing my research, a lot of those plants worked in wetter areas.
Okay.
I mean, what you read on Google and what you actually experience when you're doing your own garden can vary. So it'll be a little bit more research required before actually buying plants and installing them. But I tried to go based off of the partial shade that we have back there as well as the moisture. But yeah, I definitely don't want to create something major because you can always add to it, but it's a lot harder to try to make it smaller.
Yeah, I don't know how many plants they even planted.
Do you have an idea of the spot?
I was thinking back towards that area where we initially did our walkthrough and thought about a dog run. Like back where there's a little bridge, you have the private playground on the left. Don't want to do it too close to the playground because you're encouraging bees and whatnot.
Yeah.
But go like to the opposite side of that,
Yeah.
of the pavilion and whatnot.
What do you think, Joe? How would that work with the?
Well, I mean, this is definitely more plausible than the disc golf course.
How would it work? Are you asking him how would it work with the disc golf?
Yeah.
I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't.
one or the other, or anything.
No, I think this is gonna be way more attainable, at least, when they see the numbers, so I think this would be great.
Placement of this,
I don't have anything to the map, and we have to decide, like, if we're not going to use, if we're not gonna use the person for the disc golf course, then we can't use his map, so we have to go back to
Yeah.
something else. So, yeah, I think that should be good spot, especially, it kind of gives you something to look at while you're walking around too.
I got some information from Brandywine Conservancy. I got it yesterday, it's a relatively tight timeline. Sorry, a little crazy. Not Brandywine Conservancy, Brandywine Creek Greenway. And they are currently doing their mini grants. And I'm just reading through this email. It says here, it's anywhere from $2,000 to $25,000. And it's for things such as trail restorations, shade structures, rain garden, tree and native plantings, and lawn to meadow conversions. And I think your pollinator garden falls in there perfectly.
Yes.
So I will send this information out in an email. I'll actually do it right now so I don't forget. If you want to look over it, see if it's attainable by the deadline, which is May 24th. It's a very tiny deadline, but if you can take on these, there's the funding right there.
Yeah,
So that,
that's a know of how we did ours, there was no township funds.
yeah, and it's 2024 to 2025, so not immediate use. It's, you get the grant money and just within the next year,
Okay,
you do the project. So I will send that over now.
perfect, thank you.
What is a rain garden?
It basically helps helps with the water runoff, so it's plants and such that are
Okay.
going to
I got you.
thrive on the water
Got
and
it. Yep, okay.
try to soak it up more. And
Okay.
just-
No,
We have a rain, we live towards the middle of the mountain, and the water just comes in, so we have a dry creek bed, and we planted all the different trees around it, that just like.
Okay.
so-
Gotcha, okay.
That other place too, though, you were talking about landscaping around the skate park. There's nothing in this whole top, this side of that quadrant, at the neighbor tree line in the street. It might be nice to start something like that there and grow with it, with trees and flowers. The sun is my big thing. I know my plants, the ones that are getting the sun are gorgeous, the ones that aren't are just like they are.
I think the other thing is to have to be careful that I'm not picking anything, or we're not picking anything that needs a lot of moisture,
Right?
because
Yes.
nobody's gonna be out there watering it
That's what I
either.
had to do it. True, so down there is a good place.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you can native plants.
my vision has always been that the disc golf and the pollinator coexist. As far as the disc golf, if anyone remembers, it's when we also originally started talking about fundraising. So I don't see disc golf, I see the disc golf eventually going in there, one way or another, so that's my 2 cents.
Can we nominate for the fundraiser?
I mean, I think it's on the agenda.
Is-
Is there something you want to talk about, or you want to wait, you want to talk about that next month, you want to ask me?
What particular?
Joe
So
asked
there was
about
I know they said that they were working on something.
Oh, our policy. Yeah, so that policy is pretty much almost finalized.
Okay.
We're just waiting on a couple of things. Our solicitor has been, God bless that woman, but she really like cut off these past few months. So it's almost solidified. She's working like crazy, so almost there, but it's relatively in place right now. So when something comes up that probably is needed for, we should be good to go.
You're right, because we're not missing anything right now by not having it, other than it'd be nice to know what, then we can plan.
Yeah.
So, we kind of talked about, okay, the information kiosk. I was hoping that the Boy Scout guy was going to be here, and that's okay. I took Warren to the park and showed him what asked him what his thoughts were on the information kiosk. And yeah, I mean, he's for it. He's for it. So, I will reach out to the Scout Troop and see if maybe they can come next month, and I'm sure they're still interested.
When they come, if they want to have a, like, at least design of what they want presented.
They have to present as part of
Yeah,
their scout.
yeah, they have to present it, and they can go through the budget, how they're going to make,
They
raise the money for it and all that kind of stuff. How they're gonna install it, and, yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, I almost,
Because they can do that kind of on their own, as long as, is there any permitting or anything like that to do for that, or?
What again?
For putting the, kiosk up in the park, is there any kind of permitting, or we just kind of let them go and do what they kind of want?
Probably a sign permit.
Okay.
It's a very easy permit to obtain.
Okay, yeah,
Very,
no,
it's one of our very cheap permits to obtain, just because we'll be putting,
do we have to pay for our own permit?
actually, that's a really good question.
That'd be kind of dumb.
Now that I said that, I'm thinking to myself, that'd be kind of weird. I don't know for sure, I'm assuming no, but you probably have to go through the permitting process.
Yeah, go through the whole thing.
Approval, but because we're gonna be putting probably concrete and then support beams in the ground, that would just be a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
I will reach out to the scout troop and have an update when we'll be this next,
Sounds good.
next meeting.
That's something they could probably get done in the next month or so.
Yeah.
Permitting, big good process for them.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, very good experience. Because if they put that in, then you put flyers up for the Friday night things.
It's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, so earlier they got that in, more people will pass it and see it.
Yeah. I'll reach out to them. So,
2025 budget.
budget for park updates.
Yes, for park updates. So, just to start thinking about it, because September is when a budget is due by the board of supervisors workshop meeting. So the budget's gonna be broken down in 2 sections, and then in those 2 sections, there will be 2 sections. So, for the park updates, this is going to be anything like if you guys want to repave and redo the trail around the park, that walking path. The driveway. Yeah. If you guys want to do something like that, that would be one of those things. We're already working on it, but say we weren't repaving the tennis court and stuff like that, that would be something that would go in there. Stuff that is updates to the park itself, like maintenance updates.
Just maintenance or like also?
Or improvements and stuff like that, like the skate park would go, if you guys were proposing the skate park, it would go in there. Yep, so like upgrades and stuff like that, yep.
Yeah.
So that is where actually disc golf would go under 2025 budget for recreation, because it's a strictly recreational activity, which is down further, we've covered some of that now. And then within the budget for park updates, you would split it into capital purchases, which is $5,000 or more, and it's meant to last for a long time.
Yeah, so there's a depreciation.
Yeah, yep, so that would be the capital section, and then not capital purchases, anything $5,000 or under, and not meant to last a very long time. So that would go under that second category of not capital purchases.
If we wanted to increase the, or put in, longer trails, would that go under recreation or park updates?
Park updates.
That's handled the restroom repairs, things like that.
Yep, that's right. And that's pretty much all I have for that agenda item, just to start thinking about it. Because the budget for 2025 is due in September. September, they review it, they look at it. October, they start kind of plugging things out, or saying, yes, this is good. November, it's solidified. It is, talks are over, this is the budget for 2025. So, just so it's in everybody's mind that you guys are thinking about what you want in the budget for next year.
And resurfacing the courts is already in there. It's already-
Yep, because we already applied for the grant, so we should be good there.
I hate to go back on it, but summer, you going to try to make a move on that grant by the 24th?
I will try, I need to see what it involves.
You need any help, let me know.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
You know what?
if there's free money available, I'll be trying to get it.
Yeah, you can start,
I know you
small,
will.
like, just try to make like maybe not even 150 square feet, you're gonna go like 50, and if they're gonna do it for free, you can kind of have a trial basis. And then next year, if they do this every year, apply for something bigger.
Yeah, and I really don't think it will cost too much
No, it shouldn't.
when it comes down to it.
Like everybody has hostas that you probably
Yeah, just.
like break apart.
Your mom.
Yeah, we got plenty of hostas. You want to buy for it or?
So we're good on that, we're clear on the budget updates.
So do we want to start putting stuff together as far as ideas for?
I think that's kind of
I think we should
Yeah,
be.
Yes, also, it's important, there's no July meeting for Echo Park. Just so you guys have the timeline of how many meetings you're left before September, there is no meeting in July.
Two.
So,
I know two before September.
So we need to, because I assume that we're gonna have to go, come up with ideas, come up with, do we just need a general vote or do we have to have multiple votes? Or votes or just a budget?
well, you're gonna have to have quotes for each line item. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's the overall budget, yeah.
Yeah, so like if, say for the disc golf, we have quotes for everything already. But if, like, say we wanted to put a walking trail in or something, do we just need a budgetary quote, or do we have to actually have something from a company for them to approve? Okay.
I mean, as specific as you can get for a budgetary quote, would be preferred.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can, like, if you wanted to, you can go and ask somebody for, 20 tons of stone to put in a stone walking trail, you can get a budgetary quote. Now, you might have escalated 2 or 3%, maybe 4%, because next year's gonna be more expensive, but.
That's good. Any more on budgets?
Oh, is there any way to see, what we have as far as budget? I know this year, no, we don't have a lot, but also what it's being spent on. So I thought at one point, they said that Parks and Rec had a $60,000 budget.
You guys might, to be completely honest, that quote that I gave off was when I was talking to Warren about what, we were talking about the expenses budget for replacing things. So I may be extremely off base with that budget for this year, completely off base, I have no idea, to be honest, in this moment, but I can absolutely,
Because I think it would be helpful for everybody to have visibility of what is in the budget, what it's being used for, and stuff like that, even starting next year, so that we have a better understanding of where the money's going and what it's being spent on. Because, yeah, maybe we have a $60,000 budget, but it's being spent for upkeep of the park, like, $50,000 of it, so we just need to know kind of,
The transparency.
yeah, where is it getting spent, and what is it being used for, or what is it budgeted out for?
All right, so next meeting, we get a nice explanation on the budget. Thank you, Miranda. Anything else on budgets? Okay.
We all need our ideas to come up with that.
I mean, just in the last half hour, I heard 2 or 3 things that are going to be in the budget items, and I think it's great. We're in the ground running here as far as budgets.
We have a wish list. We'll see how far we get.
Funny, last year in May, I don't know, I wasn't here, you guys were. Right? All the rest of us knows. And
Well,
that
yeah, I
budget
was here,
came,
but I know I missed, or was that this year I missed? So many months last year, I don't know.
and the whole budget thing kind
We're
of,
going on 2 years to work.
and the whole budget thing kind of hit us while we were just starting to form as a group, so.
yeah.
This year, I'm sure we'll do better. We'll do more. Let's get to the movie nights, July 26th and August 30th. Who wants to start?
Miranda, I did not send anything at this point, only because I wanted to talk to our people. One, I thought we need to budget a little bit of money for some of the things, and I didn't want to put that in there without having any discussion. Whether it's the little yard signs, we need to budget for at least 25 to 50 of those for around the township. Other, like, even some playground activity, expenses, we're looking at $200
talked a little bit. Movie night is the last Friday of July and August. We talked about trying to do family nights on Fridays. My thing with doing the family nights on Fridays is it starts building a consistency. People know that, hey, we can go to the park on Friday night. And then next year you can add on and do other things. I have talked to Lee, she was the one that did tennis lessons and pickleball. She is out, she can't do anything, but she is reaching out to a couple of her pickleball players that would be interested in doing one of the Friday nights, beginner pickleball type stuff. You mentioned the go-karts, that maybe they would be interested. So we're just, this year, I think we're just going to do more of a hit or miss type thing. And
that's
just,
okay, and it's growing.
yes,
Yeah.
and we can talk to the people. Lee mentioned playground games, we could have cornhole, we could have foursquare, just whatever the people come and want to do.
Yeah.
But we do need a little bit of budget items. I thought one would be paint the park, let the kids come and paint a whole walking trail, a sidewalk shop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
Yes.
we might only have 3 and they'll be happy because they got the whole sidewalk. It's just a cheap ways, but we're trying to do that. Miranda, I do want to talk to you about, we not fundraising, but sponsors for something like that.
Okay.
If I had a corporate sponsor to do ice cream nights on the last 2 Fridays, is there,
I believe that's built into the fundraising policy. I will double check it and send you an
Okay.
email and let you
I
know.
just don't want to reach out that.
Yeah, absolutely. I will double check it tomorrow and see if that's there. There were a few things I wanted to mention, just because Warren wanted me to mention them. So, for the Friday fun days at the park, I know you just said it's just kind of gonna do whatever they wanna do. But with these park nights, so I know we were talking about getting volunteers and stuff like that, people to come out. But because it is a township-sponsored event,
We have to have someone on
we
site.
have to have 3 board members there. Because there has to be multiple points of contact with people directly involved with the planning of it. And
Park
that's-
and rec board members?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
yeah.
And it's also because we can't rely, as much as these volunteers might be extremely dedicated, we can't rely on them to run the event, and if something happens and one of you has to drop, okay, there's 2 more board members here. If there's 1 board member and 2 civilian volunteers there, then if the board member has to drop, it's just these 2 citizens running this night. And I know 3 seems like a big number, but that's what Warren kind of said, he said 3 people. And that would need to be decided in advance, it can't be one of those things where 2 people.
Can I send out a sign-up sheet with all those Fridays for everyone?
Yeah, Sherry, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you thinking the volunteers were us? Or were you thinking
That was me,
Joe Schmo off the street?
the volunteers.
No,
It was,
I mean,
the
in the future,
volunteers
maybe we
was,
can have a parks person that does that, but.
yeah, the volunteers was something that was brought up last few days, people, if they wanted to get involved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
to try to get more people
Yes,
involved.
yeah.
Okay,
And-
okay.
And also to gauge interest. And that, it's a community event, why wouldn't the community,
Yeah.
why wouldn't people from the community want to be involved?
I see, okay.
But I will say that I think it's a great idea, 3, I think it's a nice solid rule, 3 board members at every Friday. It makes
It's a big commitment
certain
for everyone,
sense to me.
but again, like Miranda said, something always comes up that
Oh, yeah.
someone just can't get there.
Yeah.
But then you have those other
Yeah.
factors. With those 3 board members there, can we have a key to the bathroom and open it up?
Absolutely, yep, we've started the sign-up system with the keys, so you are welcome
That's,
to have a key.
Thank you.
that's what I was gonna say. Warren
Yes.
said that the bathrooms
I
are,
think that's right.
the bathrooms are for us.
Yes.
And also, I was going to ask, does anyone think we should reach out to the baseball about having access to the snack bar as
We talked about that.
kind of a fundraiser?
We've had that discussion.
prepackaged, so that's all stuff that you can sell without food vendors, I believe.
Right, so does anyone think that we should have refreshments from the snack bar on these Friday nights? Can we talk about it or vote on it, or?
Can I just backtrack real quick? Sherry, do you want to do the sign up? Like yes, I think that that's the best.
Because I need that to
Yes,
send.
yes.
And you think maybe up to 300, 400 for 300?
What?
For signs and kickballs and sidewalk chalk. I don't know, today's market.
Yeah.
I go to the dollar store, well,
Okay.
Well, but closing the dollar store.
they're closing the dollar store, but I mean, go to $8 store and pick up.
I know those signs you can, even if you custom make them through. We didn't pay much for those with my husband's construction. I'll have those prices, but I'll do it through email
Yeah.
before the weekend.
Yeah, and then just on everything with volunteers, by the June meeting, so June 20th, we need official, unofficial list of who will commit to each project.
Yes.
If something changes and somebody else is gonna sub it for somebody, go for it, but we just need a list in
That's
front of
showing
us
there's 3 people.
before it starts, yes.
Okay, yes, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
gonna get
just
that
something set in
out,
stone.
the cost,
Yes.
and then knowing we have to keep it. So,
Something I want to add, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I think I'm a little concerned about doing it every Friday, especially if there's 3 volunteers required, just
that
because
takes a lot.
I'm away like almost every weekend during the summer, and it's gonna be hard to commit to 2, let alone half of them, or,
No, we can.
All we can do is see,
does it make more sense to do it like every other week and just like knock it out of the park, especially if we're getting like food and refreshments and, because if it's getting more formal, it's gonna be quite a workload, and I don't want anybody else to feel good, like they're getting burnt out, or like I'm not doing my share, because I feel like that's a big commitment.
I'm in the same situation. The 2 days that are with the church, I think are the only 2 I'll be able to make.
Yeah, so Sherry, I think if you send out the dates, and we know that 3 of us, there's, say, even 5 of us, 5 of us can commit to X, Y, and Z dates, and those are the dates we pick,
okay, yeah.
and maybe that's the way we approach it this year.
Okay,
And then moving forward, we can,
that's a good idea.
like,
Because I was saying I was available every Friday except now, July 27th, I forgot this, my daughter's wedding.
I mean, yeah. So I think moving forward, maybe that's the first, like, let's see which dates have the most availability for
That's a good idea.
us,
Yeah.
and then go from there. And in terms of, like, snacks, do we take a baby step and say not the first one, but
I would almost limit it to water if anything.
So-
Go buy a couple cases of water, it's all for $1.
Yeah, it just,
So do we want to use the snack bar this year or not, right? That's the question.
Could be nothing.
We can make it quick.
if it can work, yes, but let's get this
Okay.
started first and then
Okay.
we have dates.
So you're not opposed to it?
No.
yeah, no, not at all.
Fair enough. You,
I was done. Oh, and then I'll send that out and get ideas on expenditures as far as fun stuff.
Yeah.
we're,
Miranda, do we have basketballs? Like, is that something the township, like, I'm just picking basketballs.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think we have
Pickleball
basketball.
and stuff.
Absolutely get some.
Yeah, or just like,
Absolutely get some.
like, I know that we have
That's what I mean, we
pickleball.
want to put that kind of into budget.
Yeah,
to
we have
a couple
pickleball,
of
correct?
balls.
As the township, we have pickleball?
I believe so, yes. If I'm recalling.
We have the nets. that
I know we
set up.
have stuff in the building, and I believe it is open to the public to use, it's just I've only ever seen the pickleball group use it, so I'm afraid of some.
Yeah, I'm just
But I
saying.
believe it is, yes.
So that's something that,
Miranda, could you do a quick inventory in the next day or two to see what we might have there?
like,
Yeah,
What
yeah,
resources we have?
If we need 5 splash kiddie pools for some reason, we have those in the basement.
that might be,
That could be
July
our
5th,
fun
that might
Friday
be
night.
for
We have 5 of them, and there's 6 of
that's
them.
fine, for like
like a tie-dye night, you could do that, you could go buy the red, white, and blue dye and do it July 5th. And like, and then just on the flyer, like, we would want to post something on the township website and say, bring your own shirt and do tie-dye and have fun at the park.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, you can use the kiddie pools.
I think this year is a lot of growing, but some of these ideas, if we know what people like, they're gonna come up and say, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
I just like that consistency, like I said, that's what's gonna build. But
Let's see.
What were we,
We're lucky.
what day were we starting? We were trying to start July 5th. Is that the idea? And run through.
we were thinking July and August Fridays, but we could always
Is
start
that
July
true?
12th.
Yeah. That works. I didn't know, we can't help almost at all in June.
There's no June dates.
Yeah.
July.
And actually, I think August is Labor Day weekend, right?
September 2nd.
August 30th. So it's the 30th, is the Friday, 31st, 1st, 2nd. So yeah, that's Labor Day weekend. I won't be there for that one. So yeah, I think if we put like a calendar together with all the ideas that we have and have that posted in the kiosk and online, at least you can start getting it out there and people would see, oh, the 5th they're doing this. I don't really want to do that one, but oh, this one looks cool. Like, so they can kind of take and see what all the ideas we have. And we can make it kind of fluid. If somebody says, this would be great to do, or I can do this.
Can we reach out to any other of the committees and board members for volunteers? Or does it have to be
Why
Parks and
not? I
Recs?
haven't talked to Warren about that, so I don't have a
I'd
definitive
like
answer,
to
but I
see
can
them there at
see
least
one.
once.
Yeah.
It's good community. It's good community.
Just turn to the crowd right now, make it go.
No, I'm sure we'll be there. Joe just brought up a good point that September 30th is, and I don't want to throw a wrench in this, but September 30th is Labor Day weekend. Do you guys want me to go back to Walt and ask him if he's flexible to move that second movie night back a week so it's actually in the summertime and not when kids are at school, or closer to being in the summer? Or do you think we should just go with these 2 days?
I think they picked the final Fridays is kind of what they're thinking.
Last
I mean,
Friday.
it could be,
He wasn't
it could be-
thinking Labor
It could
Day,
be a
but-
great, the last thing you do before you go back to school.
Given how many people travel
Just
to Memorial Day.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where I was going, but I think he was thinking last Friday in July, last Friday in August, so we'll just go there. Is that it? Anybody want to talk more about movie nights and fun Fridays at Humboldt Park?
So for next meeting, we need a sign-up sheet, what we're gonna do, what days we're gonna do, because we're,
I'm gonna send that out in the next day or two. And then we'll get idea if we can do this every Friday.
And we should put together a list of ideas of activities.
Yes.
And we can, as a community,
And then that's
see
the
what makes the most sense to try.
Yeah. because I think when we reconvene, we're only gonna have like 2 weeks before the first one starts.
Mhm.
We reconvene in June.
Yeah, June 20th, but then 2 weeks later is July.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to if somebody wants to put out an email, and we can,
And if you want to be on those emails, reminder, it's .org, not .com. You are not the first person to make that mistake. Kevin did it too before you did, so there we go. It's .org, not .com for my email.
So we
Just yours?
Any of the administrative assistants or Warren, or .org.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes. Any other email, .com. Yeah. I know.
So there's that other thing that I didn't realize that the first one is weekend of July 4th. Yeah.
Which we just talked about, so we may not have people to sign up, so
Yeah.
that's
I
all.
thought he was starting the week after that, no?
No, we were saying July 5th. I think that's, at the last meeting we discussed, we would start July 5th. go from there. But at this point, if we need 3 people there, we'll have to go through and say
if we
who's
get
available.
3 people there.
It would be nice to be able to do, and so that everybody knows, every Friday in July, just like, last Friday, church movies.
Yeah.
Does this have to be approved by the board before we do it?
Yeah.
Not the activities,
Just
the advertising and the.
buying of the signs, yes, and I would just, if somebody can make it to the board of supervisors meeting next month, just to go in front of them and formally tell the board, hey, this is what we're doing, these are the dates that we have picked based off of the board members' availability. And then, I think you guys should be okay because it's gonna be summertime, so the sun's setting later. So I don't think you'll have to worry too much about asking to be in the park after, like, dark.
Right.
Yeah, I think we were talking, like 6 o'clock until,
Hated.
Yep, and it's not dark yet, and so you don't really have to.
Movie nights, we would be there till 9 because the movie.
Yep, which is fine, and
actually.
as long as we have that set.
Dusk, when it started, so
Yeah, so,
sunset, you can kind of go online and see when's the sunset on this
Yeah,
day.
like, if for the movie night, we may ask you guys to kind of stand around the edge of the crowd of the movie, just to make sure there isn't like 6 and 8-year-olds running off in the middle of the movie night to go all the way back to the playground. Like, you wouldn't be like security, you'd be like, hey guys, back to the movie.
I think the
It's,
movie-
I think the movie is gonna be church function more so, we're gonna lock the bathrooms up
Yeah,
when we're done.
yeah.
And they have the church
Okay,
bathrooms
cool.
that to use after that.
Yeah.
So kind of like.
Yeah. Hand them over, yes.
Now you're done.
Babysitting, back to the parents.
Who wants to go to the movie?
so
Okay.
we need to have everything, like, a calendar formalized and a budgetary thing by June 12th.
So I'm not gonna wait till the next board meeting, we can do this
Yeah.
with the sign-up sheets when
Yes.
we know, I like Kelly's idea. That's gonna pretty much determine the dates, I am gonna send it out, so. Christie might know. She could bring her daughter.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you're gonna get Christy to do it on Friday night to come back to Honeybrook.
Uh,
The amount of time she spends here.
True that.
2 board meetings ago, they know about movie night, because I presented it. Last board meeting, I told them we were thinking about Fun Fridays, a series of Fun Fridays. So this is not going to be any surprise to the board. We will do a formal presentation on the 20th.
So,
12th, thank you. Wait,
I
I
won't be able to.
I can do it. Anybody else, anything on movie night stuff? Thank you, Sherry, for getting that ball rolling. Walking Storybook Trail, what do you think?
I want to check out, the Exon Park to see,
I see that. I didn't even know they had one there. That's pretty
That
cool.
is all Christy.
do you know which park? The Exon Park?
I will check with Christy tomorrow. And I will email you.
Did you, talk to Neil and Tim already?
Yeah, absolutely.
And anyone else that wants to?
There is a Exton Park.
But, it could be that one behind, Fresh Produce Junction.
Or the one
Oh,
closer to the mall, or the one.
I think that's it.
Chippewa.
I think that's at the one behind.
Because they have,
Produce
they have
Junction, the
music
development
there,
area.
live music there. And
That would be my guess.
I remember Christy saying something about the Whole Foods. So
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, here, look at Produce Junction.
I'm thinking Whole Foods.
Yes.
across the street from.
Oh, it's
It's
behind,
almost
yeah,
across
it's behind
Main
it.
Street.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, there's, where the target is, so yeah, it's behind the mall.
Oh,
Okay.
It's like, behind the mall is a whole bunch of, like, houses, and then after that, a huge part of it.
And what's the, what are the two roads? Is it Chip Bottom and something else?
Chipper.
That's
Yeah.
also the part that has the beautiful crossing Because they have walking trails that cross that busy road, and there's actually almost like railroad crossings for the pedestrians
Oh, that's
and
cool.
stuff. It's pretty cool.
They have a dog park.
We got our new park, then we got our new park.
That's really cool. Yeah. Do you know where it is then? Or is it just somewhere, like, they just find it?
Or is it gonna go away?
Oh, we need a kids playground.
I think I see a playground in the background of this one picture, so.
It's a huge park.
Yeah, it is big. There's a bunch of corporate centers that got approvals to build there, so they had to give up a lot of open space. It really is. Yeah. It's corporate.
Okay, so
We will get
walking storybook trail, if we think it's a half decent idea to pursue, then, you know.
Yeah, I know we had talked last month about like copyright issues, so that's something.
We have to get a full, the altar that we choose to vote.
Or
Make
even,
sure
and
that
then the library might have more information about it.
Yes.
Because if Chester County Library has one in there, how do
Right.
they go about?
And they probably have
I
some.
think Jennifer will be able to answer
Yeah,
that question.
and I can even reach out to Chester County Library themselves and see.
All right, so item number 3, Harmony Day, September 21st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Other activities may be at other times, but the Honeyville Community Partnership will need details of what we intend to contribute well in advance to be included in the list of activities and promotions. Well, all I can tell you is that I went to my first meeting in April, and we have another meeting next week, Toby, Tuesday, and that I did say that Brook Township would love to have a little bit more to do with the Harmony Day, and specifically, hopefully, Humboldt Park for some activities. I don't have much more than that. I do know that Walter has some pretty good ideas from Honeybrook Baptist, our neighbor down there at Humboldt Park. So this may be another collaboration. We'll wait and see. I wish I knew more. I will have more information in the next meeting in June. And then anyone else who wants to be involved in Harmony Day?
The ladies that did the pickleball tournament last time, did they do anything through the township, or was it just all on their own?
I mean, they kept it alive. That was Honeybrook Township's pretty much.
That's what I mean, but who organized and ran that? It wasn't any of
It
us.
was late,
So the pickleball.
on their own.
Right.
I thought that would be a good place to read. That group will be one of the groups that I'll reach out to.
Well, I'm getting a phone call, Lee's speaking to 2 of the ladies, one being Jane that runs the tournaments. So just sit tight on that if you wish.
Yeah, keep me in the loop, that's all. And then I may be able to complete the
So we
service.
can at least have a pickleball tournament.
It'd be nice to have more than that, so, but we'll see. It's a ways off.
Yeah, it's a bit of ways off.
But for
And I don't know chances of this. In Pottstown on 100, there is a music school, is the best way to put it, called Stone Creative Arts. They have bands ranging from 4th graders to 70-year-olds. And they love to come to events and perform and kind of promote their music school.
Wouldn't that be cool?
So I was gonna say, you can always reach out to them and see if any of their bands would be interested in performing in that.
What was that?
Earthstone Creative Arts. Earthstone Creative Arts, yep.
With that skateboard park, I don't know the timing of when it's going to be finished and all that, but that guy that created this, or designed the skateboard park is really into it.
So you could do some,
So to reach out to him and maybe do a little thing for up and coming skateboarders.
That's
Who may
great.
want to, and maybe a fun thing for kids that are kind of afraid to just grab by a skateboard and
That's a great
a little
idea.
demonstration or a little safety thing. Or,
And
I don't know the guy, but I just get the feeling that he probably would love to do something like that.
Right, and someone here was saying that might be Joe or someone was saying that we could use it as an opportunity to have a ribbon cutting for the skate park.
So
And
I wish I
You
could.
have to,
Well, it's in early September, so
It's-
that's over a month from the actual deadline, so I can't say for sure.
we'll cut the ribbon anyway,
That brings up another point that we're talking about every Friday in something park. I wonder if we could talk to the church about parking.
yeah, he's already mentioned that he can help with parking.
Then
Half of our parking spots.
On those Fridays. Because I know the 2 Fridays they'll be involved in the movies, but the others they may not be there.
if the crowd gets too big, it was suggested to me that we get maybe Crafts or one of these little companies that shuttle and have people park here and shuttle the people up to the park.
If they do that, oh, I see what you're talking about, for Harmony Day, or?
For any of these days that we realize that, this thing's too big, we're running out of parking.
I think that the 2 movie nights and Harmony Day should be okay because we'll have the church with the other Fridays.
If you're talking to her about pickleball, piece of feedback at Harmony Day's meeting, a piece of feedback from that meeting, they said there were people who would have liked to have learned pickleball. So I don't know if maybe Harmony Days, they would be willing to do some kind of like teaching or showing people how to play pickleball, if they would want to incorporate something like that into it or not. But that was a piece of feedback that came out of the meeting last month.
We are looking at making that definitely part of at least one of our Friday nights. Or, learn to play type thing. And it's gonna be an all-age thing, it's not gonna be just kids or whatever. Harmony Day could be a good day too. It's gonna really depend on the teacher. I don't
Yeah.
like pickleball.
Just throwing that out,
Sit there-
that they
yeah,
mentioned
we
that.
definitely want to reach out to that group. We would like to see the pickleball players or this group get a little more involved with the township and maybe build a rapport that seems to be missing. That's all I'm gonna say. So hopefully this can all come around, but definitely we will reach out to the 2, and if we can plan the pickleball days, or if it goes over that well, we can do it more often. So,
At the meeting that Debbie and I were at, things that have traditionally taken place around the firehouse from 10 to 2, and then it's kind of over. Our ideas were that, so from 3 to 6, or so the second part of this would be more township related, more Humboldt Park area with a different
Yeah.
schedule.
And you're more than welcome to invite local businesses and stuff like that to, if you guys want them to like set up like an information booth, go for it. The only request was that if you guys would invite people to, no politicians are allowed to have booths during community day. Apparently that is a rule.
It's a great idea.
So, Harmony Day. Yeah, Harmony Day. So, if you want to invite local vendors, go for it. But for the sake of harmony, politicians are not allowed to have a booth. They can come and they can walk around and they can do their community diligence and talk to people, but no booths for them.
Really? I know they do uptown.
Yeah, they go
Yeah,
uptown.
they do.
But I was informed to just stay in the park. Keep Keep them out, just for that day, just because there's so many events that no one's around for, so why not have one without them? Yes.
That'll be prime
I
time.
just
Yeah.
almost wonder if we're kind of looking at different vendors. Let's look at, like, maybe a bike shop, some of those kind of vendors. Let's sort of try to tie it into, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Free frisbees, you know, have the people come out and bring in free frisbees, you know, that kind of stuff. They're always looking for something.
So
I've
there's,
got someone in mind, so we're good.
tell me. You got somebody in mind?
Well, as far as a corporate sponsor or someone I've been looking at.
Cool. So there was a guy who approached us at the, who sat at the table with us at, and we're not going to leave this one, but I have to tell you this. I may have already told you. This guy has a mobile axe throwing, you should see this thing, it's professional.
I have heard that.
And I'm going to guess that it's not as long as this building is wide. It's a real trailer, and it's a cage around it, and it's really safe, huh?
She's not even showing her face.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm writing notes.
And this guy wants to, because they don't want him, because they don't want him at the first part of this. For whatever reason, but this is more recreation, and this guy might fit in our afternoon Harmony Day at our park.
They're actually, that travel booth is funny, they're doing that for corporate offices too, so they do team building on site is what they're pushing with it.
Maximum is a lot of fun.
I do get some people there.
As me, I personally love the idea.
Uh-huh.
As administrative assistant, I am indifferent to the idea because I have no idea how to fly
Well, I'm sure they probably have to have their own
on.
lives.
I'm sure there's something. I don't
They
know.
got
I'm sure there's
to go on
something.
site, like even
Yeah, they do. They have their own insurance.
an employer to take them in and say, yeah, we're gonna let our employees go access.
Does anyone out in the crowd have anything to add? Please?
Deb, could you reach out to our, race car people and see if they could pick a Friday night if they'd be interested in?
I'll say something to him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say something.
Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I just have one question.
There's
I'm sorry, I didn't do
two more things done.
For
Is it out there?
skate park opening day? I
Yeah.
thought that was covered in the Harmony Day.
Yeah, it mostly was. I just really took it as a separate item.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Kind of address it.
Thank you.
There is no estimated to be completed date. I think Christie thought that there was, so she put that in there. But like I said, Armet said that they believe they can get it done before October. That timeline all depends on this Fish and Wildlife permit. If you guys, if for some reason, if the skate park isn't open in time for Harmony Day, and you guys still want to do an opening day for the skate park, Warren is fully on board with that idea. He said that he will try and reach out to some skate companies, and see if there's any local shops that want to come out and teach kids basic safety, basic moves, stuff like that. He said he's more than willing to buy some skateboards and we can do a giveaway or something like that. He really likes this idea, so.
There we go.
So, and I might be able to go with Harmony Day too, if that's the grand opening then. But there's definitely, if you guys want to do that, there's definitely some support there with that one.
Sounds like we got
I was
a
just
lot.
in, earlier today, bike shop in downtown. It's right
Right across from McDonald's.
Yeah, across from
They
McDonald's.
use those kids.
They have skateboards and disc golf.
So
So I think
they-
they had skis and snowboards and.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miranda, for bringing us up to speed on opening day. Action 5, 2025 budget for recreation. I think we already
We
covered
already
that.
covered it. Anything recreation-wise, split into two. Over 5,000 long-lasting, under 5,000 not as long-lasting.
Sidewalk chocolate condor.
Nope.
I think Olivia is sending us a signal that it's time to adjourn the meeting.
I do gotta ask, I would hate to see you go to all this work and everything, and I do love gardens, but if one garden was, mowed over. Is there a plan for maintenance of a garden? Because you do have weeds that grow up, and things do need cut off. And I would hate to see another one get mowed because there wasn't anybody to maintain.
Yeah, for sure.
So is there a plan to maintain
We need to
the
think
garden?
about sustainability, because I mean, we're not
Right.
going to be doing it forever, so. I
Yeah.
think we'll definitely take that into.
Because I just wouldn't want to see it get mowed again.
It could be a good opportunity to start a garden club too, to be honest with you, you know,
Elmerton has a garden club?
yeah, no doubt about it. And this is just more community stuff, and it's not that far-fetched.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I know some people are thinking about starting a walking club here in Maynville too, so, I mean, that's how these things get done, right?
I know I'm digging bulbs up.
No,
Because I ain't doing that anymore.
Debbie, it's a point well taken.
I just wouldn't want to see it,
No,
And our guys, they can't maintain that.
Right.
So I just want to throw it out.
Oh, wait, sorry, one last thing. You know the survey
Can I
that
see my
we had
phone?
talked about a little while ago?
Yes.
The only thing, is I don't wanna say I have any idea, but I heard, it came to my attention that the group that's updating the comp plan is redoing the survey that we were looking at for reference of what's been asked
Yes.
about the park. So I think it might be worth reaching out to whoever's on that board, or somehow getting our foot in the door that we could maybe look at the survey or provide some suggestions or feedback, so we could get our information that way.
and that's a good point, very valid point. I would like to add that we ask the tough question of how is this thing going to be distributed, so that we get a better, a better volume
Yeah.
of response.
That's a good point. So I'll try to figure out who our contact is with that, because I just thought two might be too confusing if one group's already dedicated to doing that. Piggyback off of that and get the information.
Miranda, is that something you were, are you writing something else?
So I was gonna say, I will find out who's doing the comp plan, like specific contact people, and I'll send that information over to you somewhere.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Miranda.
I think during that comp plan too, they'll have 2 or 3 public meetings. There's surveys and stuff like that, so there's, as long as you're following along, there's plenty of opportunity to have input from the community on certain issues.
That's good. Thank you, Sal.
Is this a township comprehensive plan or is it dedicated to parks and recreation?
No, it's the comp plan between the borough and the township.
Okay.
Approximately every 10 years, they update it and go over it and look at community numbers, and the census and zoning ordinances, whatever.
I've got nothing.
I'm not saying anything.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:29.
Anybody care to second that motion?
No, I second it.
That's all right for us.
I'm not.
Well, listen, everyone, thanks so much. There's so much great input here. It's good to know that this stuff is, going to be taken to the drawing board. I think a lot of this is going to be real, so.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. What about your next month? July is there too? Meeting.